Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Danganronpa. So, we're into chapter 2 now, although I feel like in a lot of ways we kind of are full of despair, not because we saw Leon get murdered brutally by being basically stoned to death with baseball bats, with baseballs, not and maybe a baseball bat, but we're in despair because of the fact that Sayaka we only hung out with two out of the three times, and so we got the special ability for of ultimate pop sensation, or no, the special skill of melodious voice from her, and we hung out with Leon once, and so we got the robot jock skill, which you can't even really check what these skills are until the next class trial, which will be a while from now, almost certainly. But then also, Junko died, and we didn't hang out with her at all, so we don't have anything. But also, when we hung out with Sayaka the second time, we got the skills max skill points plus one, which maybe you just always get max skill points plus one if you hang out with someone a second time. But then also, the 2 stars may mean to indicate that there's enough room there for 2 stars. So, yeah, nothing is really great as far as if you're going to try and max out a specific path in dealing with people. I'm going to have to potentially decide whether I want to hang out with 3 people, and then it probably at least 2 people are going to die in this next chapter. I mean, it kind of has to be at least 2 people. So if you don't know who it is and haven't played the game before, you're in trouble. And I've watched other people play this game, but I don't specifically know which story it is right now, so I'll have to wait until my memory gets jogged. Let's move forward though. Dot 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 dot. You would also, or in nighttime, you would also like to have seen there to be a several amounts of days between now and then, and between the trial and this point. We are now into chapter 2, and it seems like we are just going to get nice coins a second time. So, do we literally have to investigate every single thing a second time? It looks like it. Wow, we can actually go into the bathroom. It's gone. Dot dot dot. She really is gone. So this is his same room, which is that's certainly depressing to uh, have a dead body and all the blood just magically get disappeared by, I guess, Monokuma runs a cleaning service, as it were. We do also now see from a different image. This is a different image. We can see this. There is a sink in this bathroom, and there is toilet paper. Um, it's still very weird that they had to paint themselves into a corner and say that water was shut off at nighttime just so they could have a reason why you couldn't have washed away all the blood. Um, because then that does certainly make a weird situation where the bidet toilet, of obviously over there, or just standard toilet with a bidet attachment on it, um, like that wouldn't work. Obviously, if water had been turned in. Every last sign of Sayaka's existence has disappeared without a trace. It's just like he said. So we're gonna have a flashback, I guess. After the class trial, before we took the elevator back up, Monokuma told us. Oh, I almost forgot. Since the class trial's over, I'll go ahead and dispose of all the corpses.
What are you gonna do?
It's okay, no need to thank me. Just seeing your delighted smiling face is thanks enough for me. After all, nobody wants to look at a rotting corpse every day. That can't be good for your health. That seems a weird choice if Monokuma's goal is really to make people despair. I think you would leave them to rot. I also kind of wonder, since this elevator went really far down, I wouldn't be surprised if there were multiple copies of the same school, and we literally are getting, when we go back up the elevator, it it actually just takes you to a different copy of the school, and they didn't really get rid of the body or repair the bedroom. I didn't even have time to mourn Sayaka Junko's death. I'm sure that's exactly why he did it. It's a bad joke, a sickening dream, but I have to accept the reality of it all. I headed back to the dining hall to meet up with the others. Alright, so I missed some things I could have searched there. But it seems like we'll probably have plenty of time to search later when we get into free time. Sorry I'm late.
So,
Hey, are you okay, Makoto?
Listen to me!
You sure took your sweet time. I was about to get you and drag you back here. Now this is nighttime, so theoretically they're violating their own rule about not going out during nighttime. Sorry. So what happened? Was your room fixed up like you said? I imagine it'd be pretty hard to sleep with a rotting corpse in your bathroom.
Hey, come on.
Jesus, that's effed up, man. Why would you say something like that? My room was spotless. There wasn't anything left. Like the whole thing never happened.
I see.
Must be tough staying there, knowing what happened. Why don't you just stay in Sayaka's room? Well, staying there with her scent still hanging in the air, that would hurt just as much. But yeah. I would much prefer to hang around a bedroom that I didn't know a murder had occurred into, and a bedroom with a lock on the bathroom door, since obviously that would have proved to be helpful. Plus, I've decided I can't turn away from her death. Makoto. Hey, cheer up. Getting depressed isn't going to help anything, right? If we all work together, I'm sure we'll find a way out of here.
you got it.
So everyone just try and cheer up and get back on track. Is that honestly supposed to make us feel better? Huh? We are already working together, and yet someone was still murdered. Anyone could betray us at this point. Now that it's happened once, it's a question of when, not if, the next one takes place. Yeah, because Sayaka made the first move. ... I don't follow the logic or the idea that you absolutely would have to assume that.
Well,
But if we work together against the mastermind, nobody has any reason to do something like that.
Stop talking.
Keep telling yourself that. It'll be over. I'll be over here in the real world. Working together, fighting a common enemy, like it or not, it's not that simple. What do you mean?
are you okay with this?
The mastermind seems to be much more powerful than we ever suspected. They took over Hope's Peak, which was supposed to be well defended, then modified it to fit their desires. They created Monokuma, which seems to be incredibly advanced, and they've provided for every need. And the cherry on the top is the execution we witnessed.
Honestly.
Everything has been planned down to the last excruciating detail. This is not the work of your everyday psychopath. Defying them may be too great of a risk. You could also make an argument that the reason why my room is back to the way it was is because this is all some dream or simulation. That would be the biggest hint, certainly.
So
Then what are we supposed to do? Anyone who truly does want to escape will just have to follow the rules. In which case, the only option is to deceive those around you and win the game.
No,
No.
what?
No what?
I can't take it.
I don't want to live if it means killing someone else to do it. And I don't want to kill anyone else.
Huh?
Anyone else? What do you mean?
It's because
Leon died because we all voted for him, right? It's no different from us killing him ourselves.
But
Yeah, there's an argument certainly to that.
so
If we hadn't voted for him, then we would have all died instead, right? Which, that would have been the one I am Spartacus way of ending this scenario and disappointing Monokuma the best, is if everyone decided to vote for the wrong person and let the killer go free, and then sacrifice their own lives. But you'll almost never be in a scenario where the mathematics on that work out, because if there's only 3 people left and it was clear who the killer was, and then the other 2 sacrificed their lives for that one person, well, 2 people still die and 1 person would survive. Even if there was only 2 people left and it was a 1-for-1 trade and one person voted for themselves or refused to vote, like, even then, that's not a great scenario, but it really would peeve off Monokuma. That isn't what you wanted, is it? ... She's right. If you heap that kind of blame on yourself, you'll turn into a full-fledged masochist. ... Chihiro, listen. You're not to blame. Not you. Not Leon. Not Sayaka. The mastermind is responsible for everything that's happened. We have no choice. We had no choice to vote. I can't even imagine what would have happened if we'd refused. In the end, it was Monokuma who ultimately killed Leon. Don't waste your anger on yourself. Instead, direct it at the mastermind. So, it says it's nighttime, but we're getting a ding-dong bing-bong, and they're all in the dining hall, so... So what would happen if they were all in the dining hall when the door's locked? Would they just be locked in the dining hall overnight? Like, because as far as school regulations go, nighttime is 10 p.m. Some areas are off limits at night, so please exercise cautions. Off limits, I guess, means you'll be executed if you are in an off limits area at night. And see, certainly that is a case where they literally wrote this part just to justify that Sayaka had to get the knife when other people were in the dining hall instead of the middle of the night when nobody was watching. There's no rule specifically here, though, about being locked in the dining hall.
This is a school announcement. It is now 10
These
p.m.
announcements are the same every time, so I would suspect they are pre-recorded.
As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited.
See, and this might be a localization to English, but that doesn't say anything about staying in the dining hall overnight.
Oh, and one other thing.
Oh, well, I guess this isn't pre-recorded.
It was totally obvious before that you were trying to make yourselves feel better and justify what you did.
So these aren't pre-recorded. Interesting.
See you, don't see you, see you. That's about how much I can see you, even when you try to hide.
I don't even know what that means.
Now pay attention and remember this well.
Other than maybe that's an indication that 3 out of 4 times he can see you. And then on the 3rd round he can't see you. Interesting.
The burden of judging others is a heavy one to bear. So be well aware of your actions.
Interesting. I think we're probably back to the other voice actors
Order
again.
and stability rely on the sacrifice and responsibility of everyone. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
The problem with a story like this is anything and everything could play a role in the big reveal at the end, which we assume there will be a big reveal. But also, anything and everything can just be a red herring or just a bad line of dialogue translated from Japanese. What was that about just now? You're saying it's our fault. It's our fault what happened? That's pretty cruel, man.
Fuck with me.
A piece of poop. Who does he think he is? ... And so the day drew to a close. A tense, maddening day that saw the deaths of 3 classmates, Sayaka, Junko, and Leon. But this is just the beginning. Our despair had only just begun. So now we have Boy's Life Despair. Okay, and he's reading a manga, basically, with the characters from Danganronpa in it. I wonder if there was a Danganronpa comic manga first. It kind of would make sense, and honestly, it would probably play out better if this was a manga where you don't have to play mini games and you don't have to specifically interact with anybody. Instead, the writer can tell the story they want to tell, and they can flow at the pacing they want to flow at, versus a video game like this, which just seems like it's stretching for time a lot of times. I woke up the next day to Monokuma's normal morning announcement. He called us all to the gym. What's he gonna do to us this time? We were practically frozen with fear, but Monokuma was determined to get us involved in his little game, and with that goal in mind, he began it.
Okay, lift your arms up and down.
Morning exercises, which that's a Japanese thing, certainly. It's not insane to think that some schools somewhere in the United States might have morning exercises for the entire school, but yeah, most of them don't. And in Japan, morning exercises in schools, I think, are pretty common, and they have them even in jobs, or they added them to jobs, I think, after there became a big fad of trying to improve the health of employees as a way of leading to less people dying on the job from stress, because Japanese jobs are so stressful. The more recent fad is to be obsessed about Japanese people being slightly overweight compared to the average Japanese person, which is it's a ridiculous standard, certainly. And they sometimes will force specific overweight employees to do morning exercises, while others may not have to. Okay, lift your arm and down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You can see in this picture, the swimmer is kind of doing it, but she's not really doing it properly. And only the ultimate moral compass is actually following the instructions. Everybody else is just kind of ignoring.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now reach way up and bend way down.
Of course, you're not going to get animation here, so.
Tighten those muscles. Let's add a little strength, a little speed to those young bodies of yours.
So maybe the other people did cooperate and they just animated them like they didn't. I don't know. It doesn't probably matter. Doesn't that just feel great being stuck inside like this? You gotta make sure to stay healthy. You're the one keeping us stuck inside. Don't sweat the small stuff. That's my motto. Well, I sounded pretty cool just now, don't you think? Did you fall in love with me? Or am I just to die for? Am I just to die in writhing agony for? So why did you call us here? Certainly it wasn't just to make us exercise. Just to make you exercise. Just to make you exercise. If exercise makes you laugh, exercise will make you cry. Now, if I guess that might mean something. Yeah. Now, if you keep doing these exercises, you will uncover the secret of the assassin fist. Passed down from generation to generation in the Empire of Darkness, the power can be yours. This, again, feels like they're referencing an anime or manga or something. I don't recognize. That just sounds like the kind of junk a middle schooler would come up with. Doesn't matter. Just get to the point. Did you really call us down here just to exercise?
Hey,
of course not. I think I have that kind of free time on my hands. Okay then. I'd like to make an announcement. Every time you overcome a class trial at Hope Peak Academy, a whole new world will open up for you.
What the heck?
A whole new world.
You guys?
It'd really suck if you had to live here forever with nothing new to stimulate you. Besides, I know how you kids get these days with your ADD and ADHD. Arguably, I think Monokuma might be diagnosable with ADD or ADHD. I've got to keep you motivated. So go ahead and look around all you want. Enjoy your brave new post-trial world till you explode. With that, Monokuma disappeared, leaving us with more confusion than when he showed up. But a new world.
Could it be?
Is he talking about a way to get outside?
I wonder about that.
That seems unlikely.
Piece of shit!
Well, we don't know till we look.
Hey.
Whatever he meant, it seems we'll have to search the school one more time. Okay, and let's split up and start investigating. When you're done, everyone meet back in the dining hall and we'll share what we found. You're basically a one-trick pony, you know that. More like a staple food source. Now let's get moving. Seeing his words as their signal, everyone scattered and left the gym. Alright. So really, this is a point where the game itself is adding in unnecessary gameplay, because I don't know if there's going to be any more nice coins, and I don't know if we're in free time. So do we need to go and find new areas? Nope, there is totally new nice coins now that we're in a new chapter. And we might get different prompts. Let's see. We might as well talk to this guy while we're here.
What the heck?
Makoto, did you see what's inside the display case? Bad. This is super bad, man. What are you talking about? I didn't notice anything at all and weird in there. Sure, to an untrained eye it's nothing. But this is awful. A bad, awful, terrible trap.
Serious?
The stuff you see lined up there, any god could come by and use it to send a message. Huh? I've been struck with knowledge. It's an ill omen of total devastation and ruin. Let me out of here. Let me out. I have no idea what he's talking about, so maybe I'll just leave him alone. Yeah, so unless there's some kind of message in this that he's recognizing, because there's like names on the awards or the years or something are off. Like, so here we can see that the way up is now no longer barred. But before we can kind of do anything, I should look around the school first before going in the girls' bathroom. I should look around the school first. Need to find out what Monokuma meant by new. So if we go in here, good. Seems like the game is going to let us mostly not go where we want to go. I went and checked that metal hatch in the main hall just to be sure, but just like I figured, it hasn't moved an inch. Poop. Yeah, I'd be surprised if things were that easy for us. Hey,
What?
don't make that face. You look like a, I want me to put some fighting spirit in you. Well, do ya? No thanks. I think I've got enough for knife. Okay, well, okay. I'll go look for another way out then. So is there a double reason to talk to people? So I basically can't go inside doors. I really don't want to go in. I don't want to see that place ever again. So different prompt there. This is still awkward because you kind of can't you kind of can't walk and turn at the same time, where I would expect some strafing ability. Alright, okay, so this makes everything work out very easily. So they're trying to do us a favor here by not having us have to walk all over the place. But we still do have to walk all over the place, because... Was he there before? I don't think so. Or I missed him. Makoto, look, the gate is blocking the stairs. Is gone. Seems the path to the second floor is opened up. But it's also of utmost importance to double check the areas we already know about the school just in case. Aren't I so clever to think of that? I'm really impressed myself sometimes. Well, I'll leave the school to you. gate has been locked and stores has been opened. Is that what Monokuma meant when a new world? If so, what's up there? So we got a different we have a different transition to the second floor. This is the second floor of the school, so maybe there's some kind of clue here. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's got to be something here. The school is still it's literally just 2 stories, I guess. It's a little too small. Here we can see that there's seemingly some different buildings, but roughly, I would say, the same outline, sorta? Not really. Second floor seems to be a lot longer, by far. Oh, there's another story set of stairs to the 3rd floor. Well, this is gonna trigger something, and this is the library. Alright, so we have a pool. We should be interested in that.
Just a second.
Huh? I thought they were in the library. How did I misread that much that I triggered this? So, by the looks of it, there is a pool that's a pretty big pool on the 2nd floor above the gym, which all logic would say put the pool on the 1st floor and the gym on the 2nd floor. And frankly, I think having stairs for such a small school probably is pretty typical for a Japanese school, but it's also not very effective people management because it's not like that many people can go up and down the stairs easily and efficiently. Ah, Makoto, hey, guess what? Guess what I found? A pool. There's a pool here. A pool. Pool. Remember, she's the ultimate swimmer. You don't have to keep repeating it. I got it. And there's a ton of exercise equipment in the locker room. Sakura's gonna go nuts when she finds out. Yeah, you're right about that. There really wasn't a lot on the 1st floor that implied you were gonna have the best life. So now that more things are unlocked, it kind of feels like they've got more amenities. And it does certainly open up the hope that the entire school might unlock at some point, but only, I guess, if trials keep going. So yeah, that seems kind of ridiculous. Hina seemed to be more excited than usual. Let's click on everything and then click on people. On the monitors. A life-saving flotation device. Oddly far from the pool. I mean, it should be a lot closer, unless that's just the backup. A bunch of different pool-related items on the shelf. We're gonna just get nice coins like crazy. What is this? Is this some kind of card reader? I wonder what it's for. We've got a machine gun. Is this a real gun? It's not like we're at war here. Why would you need something like that here? You almost half expect Monokuma just to stand up whenever you look at something and explain why it's there. Surveillance camera. Everyone's here is being watched. Are there surveillance cameras in the bathrooms? I don't think there really are. Alright, so I think I've clicked on everything, so let's talk to Celeste. 2nd floor is opened up, the living area has grown, and a number of facilities are now available. Whatever else is going on, I must admit, things have been made much more comfortable for us.
Do you understand?
If things continue like this, the occasional class trial might not be so bad. Let's talk to Chihiro. Hey Chihiro, have you checked out the pool yet? No. I don't like wearing swimsuits. Yeah, you do seem like the type who might not be into that kind of thing. But still, it sounds like the lockers here have all the exercise equipment you could ask for. Maybe I'll give it a try. I kind of like to get a little stronger. You want to get stronger? I have to say that's kind of unexpected.
Yeah.
But I'm not even brave enough to step foot into the locker room. Huh? You don't even want to go in the locker room? It's not like I don't want to, it's just ... I don't get it. Is she afraid of locker rooms or something? That's a pretty weird phobia though. Let's go ahead and talk to Aoi.
Okay.
Locker rooms connect to the pool. It's super nice and big and fantastic to swim in. I'm beyond excited now. I can't wait to dive in. In fact, I'm getting kind of mad thinking about it. Why are you getting mad? Alright, well, let's see what happens if I try to open the girls' door. Behind this door is the locker room. This is the girls' locker room.
This is fine.
A true gentleman will respect our space, yes? Alright, we'll try the boys' locker room. Behind this door is the locker room.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you need your handbook to get it into the locker rooms. Really?
Of course.
Really?
Hmm.
If you want to unlocker the locker room, you have to swipe your personal handbook across the card reader next to the door. However, to ensure maximum security within each locker room, only a boy's handbook can open a boy's locker, and the same thing goes for girls. So once again, we have this at least slightly more realistic reason why the boys and girls are getting separated. Like, co-ed locker rooms, not typical in Japan. Definitely not. Even if you were gonna do co-ed, like bathing in a spa in the mountains, there still would almost certainly be a girls' locker room and a boys' locker room to prepare, and then they would come into the co-ed spa area later. And some girls and guys might be wearing towels even when they are co-ed bathing if they're shy. And that's the bottom line. But what if someone opens the door, then someone else sneaks in? Anyone who commits such indecency will be punished without mercy for their scandalous sexual depravity. So there's a Gatling gun mounted on the ceiling, right? And it'll be dook.
Just a second.
I bet it'd really hurt to get shot by that thing. No. I think it'd be a little worse than that. But what happens if someone loans their handbook to someone else? A boy could borrow a girl's handbook, and that would get them into the girl's locker, would it not? What? That never even occurred to me. To think someone would be so low, so cowardly, so devilish. Okay, then how's this sound? Time for a new rule. Loaning your ebook to another student is strictly prohibited. Well, that's probably going to have some long-term effects, unforeseen consequences. So, now nobody can give their handbook to anyone else, right? You like that? I'm kind of a genius, right? It's because my brain is 100% cotton.
Honestly.
I do not imagine anyone would have lent their handbook out in the first place. After all, they'd likely be held responsible for anything that person might do using the handbook. But yeah, you know, you seem awfully concerned with all the locker room security stuff.
Of course.
It's because all you teenagers are sex-crazed maniacs. You're at the age where you'd try humping a plastic bottle. So, to keep anything unseemly from happening, I have to maintain a rigorous watch. This does introduce an answer to a question that went through my head is the idea here, if they're supposed to live together in harmony for the rest of their lives in the school, that they are supposed to be like the new Adams and Eves to repopulate a devastated planet? And are they supposed to be a multi-generational group of people? By the seams of it, no. The answer is no. Because if the answer was yes to that, then he wouldn't care about these about the teenagers being sex crazed maniacs, which I won't try to deny. He would have actively ignored or even encouraged it. Then in that case, I would ask you to keep the same close eye on our dorms. If some man or some woman decided to share a room, there would be nothing to stop them. All I care about is protecting the holy image of the school itself. So, weird twist here. Now he says if a man and woman do go in the dorms and sleep together, he's fine with that. I don't care what happens in your private dorms. By force or by cunning, do whatever you want. Wow, so just a thumbs up for rape and trickery as far as sex in the dorms.
Just the worst.
I hate you so much.
See ya.
Okay, so the new regulation is now in place. See ya. See, this is really just another example of them painting themselves into a corner, because obviously these elements are going to play a role in some class trials at some point. And the only way you can explain Monokuma's split decision there is his split personality. Man, that stupid bear totally ruined my mood. Maybe I'll go take a dip to cheer myself up.
You got it.
Celeste, Chihiro, you want to come with me?
As for me,
There's nothing I hate more than getting water on my face.
I'm
Sorry, I'll pass this time. How come? When you're in a funk, there's nothing better than a good swim to pull you out of it. I'm pretty sure that only applies to you. Alright, so is there anything newer to try and scan here? And we can go in here now, I guess, and we'll just keep looking. Yeah, I kind of feel like the right way to deal with Monokuma is at some point to get a chainsaw and carve him in half and pull like one half of him that's the good side away from the half of him that's the bad side. How long am I going to be stuck in here being watched by all these cameras? So you have a flat 2D punching bag. We have a camera in the locker room. So I don't know where you really get changed. I guess the guys just straight up get changed on these benches in front of everyone else. We have, now this is an interesting poster. So you have a cheesecake image of a what I frankly would have to say is poorly animated anime girl showing her cleavage and a bit of her butt in the same image. I guess in several times, I guess I've seen games where if there's a picture inside of a already animated game, they have to feel the need to draw the picture worse so it doesn't look photorealistic, or what would be the equivalent to photorealistic. Obviously someone put this in the school, but is it really okay to have something like this in here? Question mark? Yeah, I don't know if in Japan that wouldn't cause a stir. And frankly, even in a regular high school, having a pinup model in the boys' locker room doesn't seem like that's something that is acceptable. Because in a regular school, if there were teachers walking around, they'd definitely see that, and teachers would be obligated to pull it down. And yeah. And see, if Monokuma put that up, then that just once again shows how like random Monokuma is. Alright. Every room has a camera and a monitor, so that lets them just use the same image in every single room over and over again. I'm starting from information from the outside world. If only there was a TV that worked. Alright, well, this is weird because does this go to the pool? Or does that go back out? I guess that goes to the pool. This is a little strange in the width of the pool. I'm not sure 6 lanes is a standard width of a pool. We've got windows all over the place, and then we've got a ceiling, which pretty much implies that there is nothing above us unless they've added more to it. And I'm not sure if the ceiling is solid roof or if it's been plated over. Kind of looks like it's just a solid roof. Interesting. You can move over here, but then there's nothing that's over here. There's boys' records and girls' records. I don't know what the real difference in swimming abilities are, actually, between girls and boys. If the speeds are particularly that different. I would have to assume boys might have a bit more muscle for endurance runs and might go a little bit longer or faster because of that, whereas girls might have more twitch muscle and might do shorter sprints better, or they maybe better breathing even. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's, by modern scale, very minuscule differences. So you can walk over here to get to another area. This is complicated to say the least, to have multiple places where you can walk around and move. And at this point it seems like the only thing we can look at is this lockers. Well, I would expect to see that in any normal pool. So there's like one locker, and that gets us a nice coin. And then if we back out, I guess I could have maybe just jumped straight to that. Yeah, it seems like even the game is getting tired of us looking at cameras. So, could you force or trick someone into drowning? I think fairly easily, maybe. Now see, that was weird because interesting how they're splitting the map there to the boys' room and the girls' room. Boys is basically showing a Speedo tight, where the girls is showing a school uniform style swimsuit. Although I guess maybe the school standard uniform for swimming might be a Speedo type. But how did I bone that up that much? I boned it up because this. Yeah. Alright, so I see what happened there. Girls' bathroom. If I ever took a step in there, I'd become a total creep in everyone's eyes, and that'd be it for me. Well, at least they're giving good reasons why. Is this another scenario where the building is awkwardly built? Maybe. Like there could be a whole room on the other side of this wall. By the looks of it, well, there is a room on the other side of the wall. Class 2A. And then windows that you can't see in. Let's try the boys' bathroom. Looks exactly like the bathroom on... Well, I noticed something, but it's not letting me click on it. This is where the bathroom cleaning supplies are stored. I don't see anything useful there. Well, oddly, that was not something we could see in any of the other bathrooms. So yeah, they are going to be pretty much forced to keep the bathrooms clean themselves. Here we've got 8 stairs to a 3rd floor. and I think Sakura's in here, but I don't think that triggers much. The baby is sleeping, please be quiet. Let's just click on everything for more nice coins. Ideally, I want to move as fast as possible to get all the nice coins, and then we can be done with that. And I don't really even care about looking at specific things like these when we kind of know that we kind of know what's going on there. And it's just gonna all be say the same thing or say something that's not that important.
I see.
This must be what he meant by a new world. I should probably take a really close look around. Alright, so you can't like double conversation with people. Man, still fairly awkward. Yeah, and see, what is this supposed to be? Just places where you would sit and look out the window? At a Japanese school, that feels weird. Almost feels like a prison where you are the prisoners and on the other side would be people visiting you. And I guess I have to be fairly careful to see if there's something to click on. There's so many of these metal panels that you could potentially take Leon's open toolbox and have someone try and remove one of the metal plates every time you see a new metal plate. Interesting. You get this like box that appears but then kind of disappears, and it's only when you're walking, so I imagine this is a glitch. Let me just walk in this general direction. Yeah. Now we know the library is going to trigger something. I don't think it's going to trigger anything that important though. And this 2B classroom, let's look at the map just to see if that's going to trigger something. Nope. So this is an awkward design once again though. There's just no reason why this section is built like this. There's like no doors. So I would like half expect there to be either secret passages or walled off classrooms. Perhaps to specifically even obscure people's perspective. This one says reality isn't everything, and here you have Monokuma drawn as a more realistic bear instead of a stuffed bear. And I guess that does probably indicate something specific to how this game is trying to depict Monokuma. Because you would draw him as a normal bear normally. So it almost feels like when you get a nice coin, there is a slightly different bit of dialogue. So if we're saying the same thing, that probably doesn't mean, that probably means we don't need to click on that ever again. But maybe we have to click on things once every chapter. Bunch of windows here. If I was to look at the map, and let's see, first floor gym, second floor gym, Hope's Peak Academy had those two, and then Hope's Peak Academy, second floor. How do you get to the dormitory though? Do we just not get to see the dormitory right now? By the looks of it, no. Yeah, by the looks of it, we literally cannot get to the dormitory on the map. So this is the only place to go. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Does it scan, and then we'll talk to people. I'm starting for information on the outside world. Let's see. Over here we've got a computer. Looks like a laptop. The laptop is pretty old. It's all covered in dust. Well, at least we know this is taking place in a place and a time in which laptops existed. So that's something, because you could have set this back even further before laptops would have been normal or that size.
So,
It's broken. I tried pressing the power button earlier, but nothing happened. It's broken, huh? Too bad. I was hoping I could use it to go online and see what's going on in the outside world. If you could go online, you could almost certainly send out a message for help. If it's broken, there's nothing I can really do about it. Alright, well, we also have a letter. Shelf is covered in dust, but on the shelf is a letter. What is this? Hope's Peak Academy. What does that say? It says Hope's Peak Office.
indeed.
It was buried under a thick layer of dust. It must have been sitting there for quite a while. Well, how could there be a thick layer of dust unless you're making the argument that A, they either have been asleep for a very long time, or B, somebody snuck into Hope's Peak Academy, murdered everyone in it, or emptied out the school and left it getting dusty for a very long time. Well, shall we see what's inside? No, we shouldn't read other people's mail without their permission. No, Makoto says, but we shouldn't read other people's mail with permission. What we shouldn't do is leave it here without finding out what's inside. Okay. I broke the seal on the dusty envelope and pulled a single sheet of paper I found inside. I unfolded the paper and read what was written there. From the Hope's Peak Academy Executive Office. Through the years, we have been committed to shaping the youth who will one day shape the world. We have a long, proud history of an institution of higher learning with full governmental support. Is this going to go conspiracy route, and that they're looking for like a new messiah student to save the world? Like a Shinji Mikami from Neon Genesis Evangelion, protagonist character, the only person that could possibly save the world. Our graduates enter society ready to take active leadership roles in every major job field. However, Hope's Peak Academy must now lower the curtain on its glorious history for the time being. This decision was not an easy one to make, but serious issues beyond our control have made it necessary. But make no mistake, this is not the end for Hope's Peak Academy. We intend to reopen our doors as soon as the issues forcing our closure have been resolved. So did somebody literally just force the entire school to close down? That being said, this is the end for now. I would like to personally and sincerely thank everyone for your help and support over the years. For now, we are waiting for official government authorization to formally cease operations. What does this mean? The contents of the letter are quite interesting indeed. It would seem Hope's Peak had stopped functioning as a school. And by judging on the amount of dust the letter had collected, that doesn't seem to have happened recently. Also, somebody didn't read that letter at some point. If I had to guess, I'd say the letter could be at least a year old. So you're saying Hope's Peak closed down at least a year ago? Most likely, the Mastermind took over the abandoned school in order to put on this little performance. But that would mean it was closed down when I got here just a few days ago. But I didn't get that sense at all. Plus, if the school had shut down, don't you think it would have been in all the newspapers and stuff? I mean, you're saying it could have happened over a year ago, right? But before I got here, I looked up stuff up online about the school and never saw anything about it.
So, in other words,
That must have have all been part of the mastermind's plan. They lured all of us all in here. Somebody could have created a place to judge and execute people, could potentially be capable of doing anything. Of course, that's all assuming this letter is real.
However,
If it is real, that does solve one mystery surrounding the school. The reason there's no other students here could be because the school had already closed down. That'd be nice. That would be a nice simple solution, it's true. But then what about the other part? The decision was not an easy one to make, but some serious issues beyond our control have made it necessary. But make no mistake, this is not the end for Hope's Peak Academy. We intend to reopen our doors as soon as the issues forcing our closure have been resolved. What do they mean by serious issues? That's apparently why the school had to close. Is there any connection between that and what's happening to us now?
now,
If the two events are in fact concerned. We're not doing react mode right now. This was really another great point where we should either have react mode or the story should just move the dialogue straight forward and this should just be voiced and a lot quicker. Uncovering that connection would be a useful clue on top of figuring out our mastermind's motive. Although I can't really say any more until we find more details. So in other words, only the mastermind knows the truth right now. The mastermind's motives. If we can figure out why they would want to imprison us all here, will it be enough to get us out of here? Or, anyway, I have a pretty good idea what's on the second floor, but I didn't see anything that might lead to any kind of exit or anything. All I can do now is hope someone else found something worthwhile. Okay, I better head back to the dining hall as soon as possible. So once again, we've missed opportunities to go in specific places like this room and talk to specific people. Like we totally didn't talk to Toko or Hifumi or really Kyoku or Byakuya. Is that Byakuya? I'm gonna say that's Byakuya. So they're just jumping us forward, which pretty much means that everything else in the game didn't really matter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how did it go? Did anyone discover any interesting new anything?
Yes, indeed.
There's a library and a pool, a freaking pool, and locker rooms filled with exercise equipment. There was not, however, anything resembling an escape route. Yeah, she's right.
I see.
Well, hey, there's no reason to get all sulky. Wait till you hear about my amazing discovery.
Quiet down and listen.
The warehouse and bathhouse on the first floor of the dorms are now open,
You hear me?
and the warehouse is chock full of food, clothes, whatever you want. There's so much it's insane. So go ahead and stuff yourself to the gills whenever you feel like it, haha.
are you okay with this?
Interesting. I would think he would immediately recommend rationing, and rationing is the right move. Even if you think you have more than enough, you should try to find a maximum ration for how long something might ruin or spoil. Food ruins and spoils pretty quickly. Clothes, not very often unless you have moths or insects or something that would ruin the clothes. But, you know, a new shirt every year or a new shirt maybe every quarter or half year might be prudent, instead of people just taking all the clothing in the warehouse immediately and hoarding it in their personal bedrooms, particularly as people get killed, because the last thing you want to have to do is then go scavenge through dead people's bedrooms to try and get resources back. I'm not even sure we can get into the dead people's bedrooms, or if those doors are just going to be locked permanently to us since we don't have the keys for them. It would be potentially really gruesome if we could get into like Sayaka's bedroom and then we found her corpse is like horrifically displayed in there. Keep in mind, of course, that going out at nighttime is still prohibited. Please don't not forget. Okay. And what about effing a way out of here? You find anything like that? Oh well, there wasn't anything in the warehouse we could use to get our butt out of here? Nothing? Unfortunately, no, not that I saw.
Hey, come on.
You effing people.
What?
Who gives a poop about the pool now or a warehouse or whatever?
Stop fucking
We're still
around.
trapped in this school. We need to find a way out. I feel like Mondo being the leader of a biker gang in particular is not going to be accommodated well because he's going to want to ride his bike, and unless there's going to be a track that unlocks where with bikes pre-supplied where he could just drive around in circles, and I don't even think then he'd be very satisfied. Yeah, he's never really going to get to do the things he would love to do. Same is true for like the pop star. Like she could sing certainly in the AV room if she wanted to, but she would never have the fandom that she would really desire. Leon could have been given a baseball field to play baseball, but he didn't like baseball. He was given the AV room to play music. So there is almost an indication here that either Aoi or Sakura is going to die next because they were given this pool and the locker room to work out. Of course, now I remember what happens in this chapter, and it's only a slight spoiler to say it doesn't quite play out that way. So, yeah, you shouldn't take that to heart as the hint. But that would be a way, certainly, that Monokuma could drive people to despair, is to dangle a little bit of entertainment or candy that somebody would like, and then laugh as that person dies. Although Monokuma isn't really controlling who dies. Now, there's no point in taking your anger out on this. Adaptation is the key, yes? For now, we must each find a way to enjoy our current situation.
You piece of...
Whatever you say, you effing... For now, let's continue our investigation and let everyone know if you should discover something.
So then.
So are we done for today?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess so. They seem to suddenly grow heavy again. This was the Master Man's plan, to give us hope, just to turn around and betray that hope. ... Byakuya looks at us and says nothing, which that's weird to zoom in and look at him.
This is a school announcement. As such, it is officially
Let's go ahead and
night.
skip this.
Soon the doors to the dining hall will be... Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone.
Well, we all promised not to leave our rooms during nighttime. There's not much else to do, so I guess I'll just go to bed. And so we're going to get to Monokuma Theater, and then I think we'll get our first free time, which we're going to have to just try and look everywhere. Mr. Monokuma, do you have a second? Seems like the scissors may be talking to him. And that might be glue next to that, or that might be just a lantern, or even a thermos. I don't really like myself. I don't have any kind of skill or hobby. I can say I am super good at... I don't have any skill or hobby I can say I'm super good at, and my grades are totally average too. My reflexes are okay, not great, not awful. I could get into a decent college where I'd make a few friends, maybe even find a normal girlfriend. This is funny that Monokuma is saying all this, which is exactly why I don't like who I am. I understand that now. My life is just one giant copy-paste. So that probably is a pair of scissors and glue. I don't have any imagination. I'm a perfectly average cardboard cutout. I wonder if this is a description of Makoto that Monokuma is saying.
You see what I mean, right, Mr. Monokuma?
That's weird that Monokuma is talking to another Mr. Monokuma, like almost making it seem like maybe all of the people in this game are also like really advanced robots, and they're Monokuma's version 2.0 running out some kind of like bizarre simulation. That would be weird if that's what these dreams really are revealing. Otherwise, they're just weirdness for weirdness sake and just red herrings.
Good
Let's
morning,
go and
everyone.
skip this.
Just get ready to greet Oh, that's right.
Oh, he's got something new to say.
I wanted to let you know that your e-handbooks have been updated.
So these aren't pre-recorded.
New regulations have been added, so please take a look and enjoy
Or
your school life more than ever
maybe
before.
they can be pre-recorded, but most of the time they are, and sometimes they aren't, so you just will never know. New rules have been added to the regulations menu. Must be referring to yesterday's loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. But right now I need to hurry up and head to breakfast. Alright, well, first of all, let's double check. Because that would be like a huge twist if Monokuma just added a rule, told everybody that they added a rule, and then everybody was so dumb they didn't even check what it is. Loaning an e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Alright, so good for that. We are. I will just go ahead and check these two a second time. Just for nice coins, just in case. The notepad. The tool case. And the lynch roller. And the bed. Alright, so does that leave anything else? I mean, you can go in the bathroom. Interesting. It doesn't actually let you go in the bathroom this time. So we've done everything in this area. Alright, so first things first, is Leon... Where's Leon's room and where's Sayaka's room? Can we go into her room? Sayaka, ... No, I can't waste time on cinnamon now. Those must be waiting for me in the dining hall. So we can't really go inside, I bet, any area. So we're not quite at a free time section yet. So this part isn't opened up. Taka was right, we can really get in here now, but the others must be waiting for me in the dining hall. So we're gonna have to investigate that later. So we have to do this dining hall first. Boy, does it feel like the game is just forcing us to walk through an area for no good reason. If all we can do is the thing it wants to do, they might as well just jumped us to the dining hall.
Hey, Makoto.
Morning, Makoto. Wow. It's been like 1 day since the trial. Good morning. Is everyone here already?
Yo, yo, yo.
Nope. Still waiting on Byakuya and Taka. Byakuya's no surprise, but it's strange Taka's not here yet. Knowing Taka, I imagine he's trying to get the King of Tardiness up and out of bed. I'm sure they'll be here soon enough. Just be patient. I don't mind waiting for them, but there's one problem, which is I'm thirsty.
Hey, come on.
How the hell is that a problem? Ifuni, would you make me some tea? Huh? Milk tea, if you please.
Well,
Why me?
let's see.
Your roundish figure reminds me of the owner of the coffee shop I used to frequent. That's your reason.
This is fine.
I can feel my throat drying out. Quickly, please.
Oh.
Okay. So Celeste just orders Hifuni around to make her milk tea. Of course, this would be a great opportunity if somebody had some poison to poison Celeste. Although it would almost obviously be Hifuni if that was the case. Um, yeah, the problem here is if anybody gets killed before we have any free time, then that really sucks because we literally would never have had an opportunity to have free time and spend time with that person unless we had done it in the first chapter, which then that makes the game really, really weird, where potentially if you want to unlock all the secrets between each character, you might just need to play the first chapter 15 times over to get to know everybody. And I'm not sure that there's enough treasures that you would ever have to give as presents that would actually work with that. Apparently unable to refuse Celeste's order, Hifune skulked his way into the kitchen, and a few minutes later, "Thank you for waiting." That's what they would say at a cafe, that tea. They would serve tea, or any restaurant really. Hifune reappeared with a tray in hand, a gentle aroma growing stronger as he approached. Now, if he's making tea, why not make enough for everybody? If you're gonna do it, you might as well just do it for everybody. In fact, why not just take orders from everybody? Well, if you're gonna cook anyways. Finally. You could have made some for the rest of us, you know?
There's no way to
I
think about
emphatically
this in a common
decline.
sense kind of way.
You're not my type at all, so apparently he is showing some interest in 3D now. It's all about the law of causality, basic instinct, act and react. Grr. So yeah, he rejects Toko, which that's a bad choice. Well then, if you don't mind. A small smile played across her lips as she held the tea cup delicately in her hand. I wonder if this whole section here matters at all, or if it is just a case where they are, where Celeste is just perhaps trying to get favor of Fumi, which would be very easy, just so that he would then potentially irritate the other girls. Is that a good gamble, though, to single yourself out? I don't think so, but it might work, depending on what your play is. She is the ultimate gambler.
Oh.
Wait. She cocked her head to the side and threw the cup as hard as she could at the wall. Crash. What the? Hey, what are you doing, my little white rabbit? I hate this kind of tea. I don't understand.
Yes, indeed.
So, yeah, Celeste is showing herself to be weird, to say the least. Imagine we are at a coffee shop, just any normal everyday cafe. I sit down and I ordered some TV. They then ask me, would you like lemon or milk? Now further imagine that I replied, yes, I would like milk tea, please. In that case, along with my tea, they may bring me a small container of milk, yes? But this is not for me. I am among those who prefer the milk to be part of the process from the outset. The fragrance is just so overwhelmingly sweet that way. Adding milk or lemon right before you drink it is like dousing your fries in ketchup, mere condiments. Whenever looking for a cafe, I first review their menu to see if it offers the proper style of milk tea. Interesting. So she's extremely picky and wants to be pampered on, which probably isn't going to play well in a scenario like this. If anything, this is smacking in the face of being adaptable, and smashing a cup is certainly not a great idea, because I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Monokuma just appeared and executed her for breaking school property. Even though there's no rule. And I can't ignore, well, although if that was the real rule, then why would you not have killed Leon immediately for breaking the door? I cannot acknowledge any milk tea that does not add milk during the brewing process. Which, yeah, you gotta be careful not to scald the milk in a case like that, but it's doable. If I had to describe our shared reaction to what we had just heard, I'd have to go with wide-eyed bewilderment. I went to all the trouble to making you that tea, and you wanted me to go even further? That said farther, but they meant further. Yes, I realize it can be a bit of a hassle. Even in cafes that offer proper milk tea, it is always more expensive than a simple tea with milk. It takes more time to prepare, surely, but why even bother creating a menu if you're not going to offer the highest level of quality? Well, we don't actually have a menu.
You little bitch.
That is a strange voice line to record, and certainly we're getting very cursy. A lot of cussing from a lot of people. I feel like there's a localization mistake in doing that. It seems like they are trying to NC-17 or give the game a hard R, when the actual game itself probably could have been easily pushed down to something closer to a PG-13 to use movie ratings as an example. Just adding cussing for no reason. And sure, in Japanese they probably are using words that could be translated as cussing, but those same words could be translated as not cussing. And the idea that high school kids would, in this scenario amongst people they don't really even know, would be cussing this much is hard to believe. That does not matter. Hurry up and bring me what I asked for, swine. What? Okay, you little piggy will bring it out right out. So, Hifumi either enjoys being bullied or is easily bullied. I do so love coercion. You were like a totally different person just now. Yeah, poop. She really went psycho there. I knew there was more to her than when I first met her. And see, clearly they had to write a scene like this for chapter 2 because there's just not enough time to write a scene like this in chapter 1. I hate to have her as an enemy. Seriously, man, she's one scary chick. The dining halls flew open and one of the late arrivals came storming in. But bad news, everyone, there's a mystery afoot. Huh? What happened? It seemed Byakuya refuses to leave his room. I stood there pressing the doorbell over and over, but he never showed himself. Well, maybe he just wasn't there. I'd like to think so, but I'm worried something might have happened to him. What he meant by that, he didn't have to say anything else. Everyone understood exactly what that might mean. It might be a good idea if we all split up and go look for him.
Listen to me.
I was just about to suggest the same thing.
What's your problem?
Stop trying to one-up everyone. Okay, then I'll go check his room one more time. I'm just gonna keep hammering that button until I get a response. Very well, the rest of us can check the rest of the building. Yeah, before you know, it's too late. Sorry for the pause there. Anyway, we have to do our best to find Byakuya. So where might Byakuya have gone? Maybe he went to check out the second floor of the school again. Okay, so item. Like we're gonna have a problem certainly with the nice tokens at this point also. Like all I really wanted to do here is get into some free time and use that as a way to get a bunch of nice coins and just use the gacha game. Celeste, aren't you gonna help look for Byakuya? I haven't had my tea. I have not had my tea yet, huh? Until my thirst is satisfied, I have no urge to do anything. If you're in a hurry, feel free to motivate Hifumi to move faster. But aren't you being kind of selfish? So yeah, of course. Now let's go in here. And Hifumi is in the place. We just gotta click on everything again. I guess what could happen here is if I got one of every present. And at that point, I might be so overflowing with presents that it might not really be worth it to get more Monokuma coins. But I kind of question that too, because what's going to happen is as the odds of duplicates go up and up, once we hit about 50%, then it is going to start to make an argument to use 2 coins, and then once 2 coins hits the odds of a duplicate with, then we go up to three coins, or actually I don't even think that's the right math there, but yeah, we may end up where we're in a scenario where we're using 100 coins to get a new item. Oh, Mr. Nagami, what's going on? Well, nobody's seen Bakia this morning, so we've all decided to go look for him. What? That's not good at all. However, this little piggy needs to. I have a holy edict to deliver a proper milk tea to my master. To bless this under-deserving swine with such an honor. I will serve you with all my heart and soul. Okay. Good luck with that. If only he created some creepy alternate reality for himself. Alright, so we can just leave the kitchen at that. Clearly Celeste wants somebody that she can boss around, and Hifumi is a prime candidate for that. So let's go to the baths, since that's across the way. Okay. So over here, we do have like a wash station, prep station of some sort, which may be just for makeup. And then it seems like the changing stations are here. So yeah, you are. And I don't know what this is supposed to be a poster of. I can't tell what that's supposed to look like. Kind of looks like a ghost of smoke coming out. So there's like a scale and massage chairs, and I guess the general idea is that you would come in here and you would prepare, take your clothes off, and head off to the public baths. Maybe at different times for different genders, although Monokuma doesn't seem to care. Lockers. One of them is unlocked, but I don't see anything inside. What we don't see here, interestingly, is a camera or a monitor. Using these massage chair would make me feel kind of old. You can see how flat the image is when you rotate it for the scale. Talk to Mondo.
Yo.
How's it going? You find him? No.
Hey, come on.
Poop. Where the hell did he go? He's got his head up his butt. Who knows what's going on with him? I figure maybe that's what that he was taking a bath or something. So, you a morning bath kind of guy?
Hell yeah.
After spending all night riding your hog, wind in your face, there's nothing better than the morning dip. Now, important to point out, Japanese very much socialize amongst public bathing. So, that is a thing that happens, and so this is not particularly creepy, what Mondo is suggesting. The hot water loosens you up, and your heart and soul gets to your heart and gets your heart and body pumping. Sure thing. I'll have to take your word for it. All that. What? You don't know what I'm talking about? Effing nerd.
Hell yeah.
Guys gotta expose themselves to each other, you know. Come with me next time. You'll see. I'll think about it. But I mean, it's not like you've been riding your hog here in the school, right? Alright, so in the bath we go. Alright. So these are the more proper naked prep stations where they thoroughly clean their bodies, or at least Japanese claim to thoroughly clean their bodies. I would assume that's true, being so Germanophobic. And they're sitting on these little stools, and then they get into the different baths, where I imagine this is a warmer bath with some kind of aromatherapy, and that's why it's green, and the blue in the background is probably a colder bath. And you can see there's steam all over the room. There's only 2 things to scan here. Alright, so I'm not sure what this blue over here is supposed to be. Oh, it's just a picture of a it's a picture of a whale. This bathtub is huge. Alright. Now, if a Japanese school was to have a public bath, which I don't think any of them do, maybe a really fancy one, really rich one would, you do run into the scenario once again where there's like 8 washing stations here, which is far too few. Even for the animation, they could have easily copy and pasted at least one more. You can also see how the screen is curving the tiles that are supposed to be straight. There's still nothing up and down. This should be the hot sauna area. And yeah, that looks like a standard hot stone sauna. I did hear of a story once where somebody accidentally put like cleaning spray or bleach or something like that in the hot stones, and it basically created mustard gas and nearly killed everybody in the sauna. So you have to be fairly careful about not putting any chemicals in it. Usually there is some source of water and a ladle in saunas, maybe not in Japanese saunas, where you can pour the water over the stones to create more steam. And then there are definitely cheaper steam rooms that don't have the stones at all, and they're just run by electronics, and that is that. What's this? Is this the heat source for the sauna? Interesting. We're seeing so many things being added, and they made a whole little animation of how the room was designed too. That it would be fairly silly to not use these areas, but almost certainly we aren't going to use these areas at some point. Like that's just gonna be how it breaks down. We could also probably pretty easily just look at the map and see where the next thing triggers, if we were questioning that. I'm surprised Hifune hasn't come by and stolen it or something. Hifune? Oh yeah, the fat guy. He's surprised the fat guy, who's we're assuming is a pervert. Lovely ladies of Earth is filled with what they refer to as world-class beauties. So we got more information from clicking on the magazines. But last time when we went through all of these, there was one that gave us a nice coin. Now it seems like we're kind of having to struggle and search everything to find that like one thing that has been reset. There's a decent argument here to having only a walkthrough in front of you for sections like this. It would save you time, certainly, to know where to go and what to do. Okay, so as a warehouse, look, first of all, if you look at the map, the warehouse looks way longer than it seems like it's really being depicted, and then there is still that wall section that doesn't really make sense. As a warehouse, I would say this is not particularly stocked for the long haul here. Like this, you have 15 people and you have like 3 jugs of things and very few cans. You would have to see a lot more copying and pasting of items. Oh, this looks like tissues or maybe even feminine healthcare products, which you definitely would have to think about that, and I wouldn't put it past Monokuma to have not thought about that at all. So there's all kinds of stuff piled here. I could never get half of this stuff in the outside world. But yeah, this doesn't really feel like a lot. Just toilet paper alone is gonna run out, unless the warehouse is just this like supplemental warehouse for things, and a lot of other things are gonna get replenished, or the warehouse magically gets replenished by itself. It's not really showing you what is really on the shelves. The first thing would have the first thing to have done here would have been to do a full inventory before anybody took anything else, and then start rationing. Is this the fridge Sayaka mentioned? It's stuffed tight with food and drink. When did he mention a refrigerator? Yeah, if anything, I would say a warehouse like this just feels more staged than like a prop than an actual amount of storage. I mean, this would be a decent haul for maybe a year for one person, but you're definitely gonna have to ration for 15 or 12. I came to search this area as well, Makoto, but we were one step too late. I've already finished my investigation. There's no trace of Byakuya in here. An army marches on its stomach, as they say, so I thought maybe he would come here to have his fill. We must all eat until there's nothing left to eat.
You understand?
Anyway, now there's no time to get discouraged. We must head elsewhere to continue our search. You're right. Yeah, if there really is supposed to be like secret doors, though, in this whole area, then we are going to end up having to struggle to find them. And searching in the bathroom is a good place to search. What are you doing in the bathroom, hero? Huh? Oh well. I consoled the spirits, and he had a bathroom emergency and couldn't make it to breakfast. His guts forced him to spend all morning in the can. But I was totally wrong. A swing and a miss. 3 strikes and I'm out. Really gonna make baseball references after what you just saw happen to Leon? Yeah, Byakuya doesn't seem like the kind of guy to have problems like that. I feel like that's kind of a weird assumption, that you couldn't possibly have a bathroom emergency just because certain people kind of do and certain people kind of don't. That seems weird. Even if he said he had an iron stomach, I would kind of not believe him. But I suppose we are still in the same week, so so Hifumi still has the key, as it were, to the trash room. This is really repetitive. We're spending a lot of time for a lot of coins. It may not matter. Okay. So, I assume, since let's see if we can go in Leon's room. Rattle, rattle. The door won't budge, it must be locked. So, yeah, you just can't go into people's rooms, by the seams of it. So yeah, the rooms are forever locked. We'll start with Toko, since we probably don't want to hear what she has to say. Hey Toko, hanging out with Hina, huh?
What's your problem?
What, you got a problem with that? No? Something might have happened, right? Being alone right now might not be safe. You got scared and decided to stay close to Hina. I guess everyone has a softer side. As long as I'm with the sports idiot, if something does happen, I'm sure she'd jump in without thinking and take the fall. Huh? What? Were you eavesdropping? Awful. You're just awful. Get lost, you stray cat. So yeah, Toko's a jerk and says it out loud. Hey Hina, any luck? Nah. It's no use. I keep banging on the door, no, and nothing. Come on, already, open up. Bang, bang, bang. Remember, it's soundproof, so I'd assume the doors are soundproof too. Careful, you're gonna bust that door hitting it that hard. Relax, that's nothing compared to what Sakura could do. Sakura's really awesome, you know. If she really wanted to, she could tear this door to shreds. I see. Well, she is the ultimate martial artist. She might actually be able to do it. I've been knocking long enough. I think I can say for sure he's not here. I think you're right. I'm gonna go look around for him.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. We didn't miss anybody by an angle, did we? No. So, off to Hope's Peak now, with the same background music playing over and over again. Just scan the same things over and over again. I'm just gonna hit A and then B. It'd be nice if we established that there actually weren't any more nice coins in this area in particular. But I just kind of don't feel like that's the case. I feel like we're gonna instead prove very much that there are nice coins everywhere. And thus you have to be very vigilant if you want to try and get as many as possible. Which at a certain level, if I do get 100% of all the presents, then I'm gonna just take it easy at that point. And clearly the vast majority of the nice coins you collect are going to be, let's see what happens when we click on this. Yeah, the vast majority of them are going to come from whatever score you get in the class trials. So if you just jump forward in the story, you're probably still going to do fairly well. Over here, look over there. It would really suck if it turned out that the reason why we haven't gotten any nice coins in this area is simply more of a case that we've hit the maximum you can collect per chapter. The game should pretty much tell me if that was the case, though. It shouldn't leave me hanging. Well, I think the way this breaks down, since the store is in the middle of the store, nope, didn't mean to go in that room, is probably the most prudent and efficient way. You're not getting timed or anything while in this section, which thank goodness you're not getting scored for how long it takes you. If anything, that would be counterintuitive to the whole idea. So pretty much whenever we walk by the store, if we have a significant amount of a significant amount of nice coins, we should make an effort to come in here and get as many presents as possible, just to separate out the action into different activities. But you also kind of want to be able to to hang out with whoever we want to hang out with. So if we are actually missing presents for a certain character, we might need to make a special trip to get more. And it's not really showing you, interesting, that it shaked like you were going to get a lucky, but you didn't get a lucky at that point. So yeah, the strategy still is just wait until the repeat percentage gets to 50%, at which point use 2 coins, and then continuously add 1 coin to keep it under 50%. I think that's the math there. There's an anime figurine. We definitely know who would want that in Hifumi. He's so obvious. And another thing for Hifumi. In all fairness, I will also say that, hey, I've got some anime figurines on the shelf. They look nice, so I can't say I'm blameless either on that. But I have managed to, I got really cheap ones that where a store didn't even know what they were worth, and they were selling them like action figures for $20 when most anime figurines are sold closer to $60 or $70. And yeah, so, and all the ones I have are mostly of a tame version, so there might be a character in a bikini like outfit, but they're not anywhere as lewd as they can get, which at this point they have figurines where they are straight up naked and pornographic in pornographic scenarios for PVC figurines. Which at a certain point you have to have a lot of confidence to let your freak flag fly that much that you have a pornographic figurine on your shelf in broad display. It's almost enviable to be that open, or be able to be that open to random strangers without fear of someone potentially causing you trouble because of it. I believe that was a DVD of a kind of a famous Japanese comedian, which I don't think that'll translate to English very well. A lot of the Japanese like prank videos and TV shows have famous Japanese comedians acting as both the perpetrators and the victims, so there is a part of that is often not translated, where it seems like it's just like they're doing random pranks on random people on the street, but anyone who's Japanese goes, oh no, I know this famous person, obviously this is fake, and they don't bother to say that. And in general, I think a lot of Japanese prank shows are so cheaply made that, and Japanese TV in general is just so cheaply made that it doesn't have a good chance of moving over to any other market, where in comparison Korean TV and movies have an effort of more polish and look better. So Netflix has been very good to partner with a bunch of people in South Korea to bring over TV shows. And there's been some very interesting, great shows if you're willing to watch them with subtitles on Netflix. A lot of it is kind of repetitive and and not that different. Starting to get fairly high repeat chances, but then the luckies also are kind of handling that too. At a certain point, I almost wonder if the argument would be that maybe there will be a point where you can sell presents to get more Monokuma tokens. Like if you sold one present for one Monokuma token, that would still work. If you have to sell 2 or 10 for a Monokuma token, that's probably not great exchange. That is actually how it works in Japan. Is a lot of the gacha game centers are these tiny little build rooms on the street level, and you get you gamble for the gacha capsule toy, and then next door is somebody willing to buy or list for a commission that gacha toy you just got for sale. And in a weird way, it's probably a lot more akin to money laundering than a legitimate business, or just straight up gambling. Or because like gambling, technically illegal in Japan, done out in the open, unsuppressed in Japan through the pachinko parlors, which yeah, you gamble for worthless pachinko balls in the pachinko parlors to get prizes, and then in some back alley you then are able to sell those worthless items for actual cash. Yeah, we are getting a decent amount of repeats, but until that repeat percentage gets to 50, you might as well take the repeats. What's weird here is you just aren't going to have this many free time interactions with characters. You just kind of know that's the case. So unless there's something some point where we can sell items or give multiple items as presents, I don't understand why it's set up in this fashion. Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It just feels like this is a gameplay mechanic that is just not thought through at all. Wouldn't it be easier and smarter if it turned out that instead of a lucky token, there was literally just a present in each location where there was a lucky coin, and each of those presents were specifically designed in such a way that you they were designed in such a way that you could always get at least one present in each round. See, we're up to 3 coins now, so now is when it's going to start getting expensive. Because we want it always below 50. And then we might evaluate at a certain point where it might be worth it if we literally only have one new thing to get, that it might not be worth it to really gamble. I imagine we might very quickly jump from needing 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. See, we're up to 6 coins now. So it's just going to get more and more expensive. And we have 30 coins here, so if we were to go all the way to 30, that would get our repeat chance just down to 23%. So there might even be an argument here to not gamble this way, but just use all the coins you have to try and ensure you get a new item. But I think we're doing this fairly well and fairly quickly. I think we have maybe one more pull in us and then we're done. Yeah. Let's see, if we were going to do just one coin, a 60% chance of a repeat is still not really that bad. So we could have potentially tried it the other way and just planned to get a whole bunch of duplicates until the repeat chance goes up to 100%. But I think that probably would be the wrong way to gamble with this. Should probably get going. He's definitely right there. That took way more time than I would have thought. Alright, so we have mineral water, which would make sense for Sakura, Cola, Hifumi, I guess. Civet coffee might be good for Celeste. Rose hip tea feels like it really would only have worked with the fashionista who's dead. Sea salt. Prismatic hardtack. That's like an emergency ration food. Like, I have no idea who would want to eat that. Sakura, maybe? Sonic cup of noodles. Don't know who would really want that. Royal curry. Rations. Why are there so many things around rations in particular? Sunflower seeds, we have no idea. I thought maybe Leon. The hair clip would also, I think, have been more for the fashionista. So how, like, it's kind of ridiculous. Here we have a Zol's diamond ring. Maybe that would work on Celeste. Versus the Hope's Peak ring, which might work on Taka. Blueberry perfume. Popular with men these days. Interesting. We have a God of War charm, which maybe that's Sakura, not referring to the game God of War, I think there. Here we have a G-Sick, which is, I think, like a G-Shock watch. Maybe AoE would like that. We have roller slippers with wheels and heels. I don't know who would like that. Here we have a loincloth with a leaf over it, meant to emphasize one's manliness. Fresh bindings, clearly a Sakura, and we have 3 of those. We have another Jimmy Decay t-shirt. Here we have the Demon Angel figurine from a made-up anime called Princess Piggles. And then we have Astral Baby Doll, which again is like a made-up anime. Then we have a quality chinchilla cover, a dark red seat cover, refined design intended only for the most elite clientele, and we have like 3 of those. We have a camera, which in the story having a camera would be fairly useful, where the rest of these items are pretty much useless. Adorable reactions collection, DVD containing footage of people reacting to various pieces of art. Yeah, here we have a tumbleweed from like Western films. We have a rose in vitro. There's a rose stored in a test tube. It's both good for hellos and farewells. In the language of roses, a red rose means passionate love. Well, I have no idea who you'd want to give that to. Then we have a rose whip, a whip made from real roses. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns. Like, these are going to be really hard choices. Here we have a full-on sword. Strongest way but never made. It's great for dungeon diving and let you warp through walls. Of course, it doesn't actually exist in this reality. So, Muramasa. I don't know if this is a reference to a sword in a video game or if this was a reference to like one of the swords in many animes. Inuyasha comes to mind look like it has sort somewhat like that. We have 2 of these ray guns. We have a self-destructing cassette, which I feel like a self-destructing cassette is a reference to the old spy movies. Like, I know the parody spy show Get Smart had self-destructing messages as a joke all the time, but I think also A-Team had that, or no, it was Mission Impossible that had it. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched a Mission Impossible episode, not the Tom Cruise movies, which probably also have self-destructing messages, but there was a TV show before that. Let's see. Here we have a pretty hungry caterpillar. Then Mr. Fastball, which is another baseball thing. So like half of these collectibles don't make any sense at all unless there's a new game plus, and even at that they barely don't make sense. Here's a moon rock. Here we have a fun plane as like a Game Boy. We have Project Zombie. Mature game designed for the fun plane where a former runway model takes zombies as slaves in a post-apocalyptic world. It's been out of print for a while. Is there a game like that? There's Lollipop Chainsaw, where it was a cheerleader fighting zombies with a chainsaw, and her boyfriend was a zombie and his head was cut off and he was just attached to her belt at that point. And then there was a anime where there was a pop group where a bunch of zombies were kind of forced into being pop stars. But yeah, I don't know of a story quite like that, so I don't know what exactly the reference is. You have the second button. This button is from a school uniform, which increases the value as graduation approaches. In a few cases, reservations are necessary. I don't know what that means. But that's not like a special item, is it? We have a Hope's Peak graduation album that someone left behind. The signature pages are all completely blank. See, if you could actually look at that, that probably would be some information, where a vice is probably not that useful. Oblast is a thin edible film made from starch. It's commonly used as a candy wrapper, but also helps cover the taste of bitter medicine. I have no idea about that. We got 3 voice-changing bow ties. Now, here we have a novel's fountain pen, which this would probably be a good gift for Toko. Once belonged to a late great novelist. They say the writer's soul is sealed within the pen and can only write one sentence. I have become something not human. There's a famous Japanese novel that says that sentence at the beginning, and sadly Japanese psychological novels are very hard to translate to English, and that's what it is. We have Cat Dog magazine. I think it has to do with pets, but it's more related to beds. It's a guide for junior high and high school students to help them with their physical health. So it's a porno mag? Or a sex ed mag? Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird sentence. Meteorite arrowhead. We have a chin drill. There was an anime with a drill key that unlocked a mech that was popular a few years ago. Screen costume. This might be from an anime too. So much of this is just like deep Japanese reference only. It's just not going to make any sense at all. And nothing more past this point. And I think we can pretty much assume that that is the case, at least for a while, that we aren't going to see anything more until we get through other chapters. So, overall, that was a pretty good filling out of the collection and puts us in a decent place to date whoever we want to. The question, I suppose, is who do I really want to date? And we're not even really anywhere near that. Yeah. And yeah, we're just never going to be able to hang out with the dead people, more than likely, unless there's some timer line function. So it's very weird to have so many red herring gifts that are just going to be nothing but red herring gifts. See, I remember part of this chapter, but actually I don't remember enough of it. So I actually don't know who the killer is. So that's going to be an issue. But for now, let's just make a new save spot and call it a day since it's been 2 hours. Gonna have this one just to get to this one. This is a better place to pause the game simply because it pauses the music also. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.